Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Janet Jackson, born May 16, 1966, in Gary, Indiana, USA, is an American singer, songwriter, actress, and dancer. Celebrated as one of the most influential and innovative performers in the history of popular music. The youngest child of the legendary Jackson family, Janet rose from her brother's shadow to establish a groundbreaking solo career defined by bold artistry, creative control, and social consciousness. Early life and beginnings. Janet Damita Jo Jackson grew up as the youngest of 9 siblings in the famous Jackson family. Surrounded by music from an early age, she initially pursued acting, appearing in popular TV series such as Good Times, Diff'rent Strokes, and Fame. Despite her family's fame, Janet sought independence and self-definition, which would later become a hallmark of her career. Breakthrough and rise to stardom. Her self-titled debut album, Janet Jackson, 1982, and its follow-up Dream Street, 1984, gained modest attention. But her third album, Control, 1986, transformed her into a global superstar. Produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the album's assertive themes of independence and empowerment, coupled with its innovative mix of funk, pop, and R&B, redefined the sound of the decade. Hits like Nasty, What Have You Done For Me Lately, and Control turned Janet into a cultural icon of female autonomy and style. Global dominance and artistic evolution. Jackson's next album, Rhythm Nation 1989, was both a critical and commercial triumph. Fusing social commentary with danceable beats, it tackled issues such as racism, poverty, and education, rare topics for pop music at the time. The record produced 7 top 5 hits, including Miss You Much, Escapade, and Black Cat, cementing her as both a visionary artist and a role model for youth empowerment. Throughout the 1990s, Janet continued to push boundaries with albums like Janet, 1993, which explored sensuality and self-expression, and The Velvet Rope, 1997, a deeply personal work confronting depression, identity, and sexuality. These projects further showcased her ability to blend vulnerability with strength, and her willingness to address taboo subjects through her art. Later career and legacy. In the 2000s, Janet released albums such as All For You, 2001, Damita Jo, 2004, and Unbreakable, 2015, maintaining her influence despite changing pop trends. Her performances, marked by elaborate choreography and precision, influenced generations of artists including Beyoncé, Rihanna, and Britney Spears. The 2004 Super Bowl halftime controversy temporarily overshadowed her accomplishments, but Janet's resilience and artistry ultimately prevailed. Influence and recognition. Janet Jackson has sold over 100 million records worldwide, making her one of the best-selling artists in history. She's earned multiple Grammy Awards, American Music Awards, and Billboard Music Awards. In 2019, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a testament to her lasting impact on music and culture. Beyond music, Janet has inspired countless women and artists to embrace independence, self-expression, and control over their image and art. Her fusion of pop, R&B, and dance, along with her trailblazing music videos, changed the landscape of popular culture. Personal life. Janet has experienced both public and private challenges, from the pressures of fame to personal losses, yet she remains admired for her grace and quiet strength. She has one son, Isa Almana, born in 2017. Artistic innovation and musical style. Janet Jackson's artistry has always been defined by evolution, a fearless approach to sound, image, and storytelling. Her work merges pop, R&B, funk, and hip-hop with socially conscious lyrics, emotional depth, and groundbreaking production. Collaborating extensively with producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Janet developed a distinctive sonic identity, crisp beats, layered harmonies, and emotionally direct yet rhythmically complex vocals. Her albums often functioned as cohesive statements rather than mere collections of songs. Each era introduced a new sound, aesthetic, and message, from the hard-edged independence of Control to the sensual freedom of Janet, and the introspective vulnerability of The Velvet Rope. This artistic fluidity made her a forerunner of the concept album in modern pop and inspired countless artists to treat their records as complete narratives. Stage presence and performance legacy. Janet Jackson is regarded as one of the greatest live performers of all time. Her concerts are meticulously choreographed spectacles that combine intricate dance routines, theatrical visuals, and emotional storytelling. Her stagecraft bridged the gap between the concert and the music video era, helping define what a modern pop show could be. Her precise yet soulful movements set the standard for generations of performers, including Beyoncé, Usher, Jennifer Lopez, and Ciara. Songs like Rhythm Nation, If, and Feedback became visual experiences as much as musical ones. Janet's influence can be seen in today's blend of singing, dancing, and storytelling that dominates pop performances. Social and cultural impact. Janet Jackson has always used her platform to speak on issues beyond entertainment. With Rhythm Nation 1814, she made a bold statement that music could be a tool for social change, addressing racism, violence, and inequality at the height of her fame. Her music videos and tours carried educational messages, encouraging unity and compassion. She also became a voice for body positivity, self-acceptance, and female empowerment. Through Janet and The Velvet Rope, she explored intimacy, trauma, and self-love at a time when few mainstream artists dared to. Her honesty about mental health and personal struggle helped destigmatize these conversations in the industry. Film and television career. Beyond music, Janet Jackson built a solid career as an actress. She received critical acclaim for her film debut in Poetic Justice, 1993, alongside Tupac Shakur, portraying a grieving poet who rediscovers love and resilience. She later appeared in Nutty Professor 2, The Klumps 2000, and Why Did I Get Married? 2007, and its sequel. Directed by Tyler Perry, her television background, beginning in Good Times and Diff'rent Strokes, honed her ability to connect with audiences emotionally, a skill that translated seamlessly into her musical performances. Honors and recognition. Janet's contributions to music and culture have been widely celebrated. In addition to her Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, she has received 5 Grammy Awards, 11 American Music Awards, 11 Billboard Music Awards, the MTV Video Vanguard Award, 1990, the Global Icon Award, 2018, at the MTV Europe Music Awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her music videos have been preserved by the Library of Congress for their cultural significance, and her impact continues to resonate across decades. Personal strength and legacy. Throughout her career, Janet has faced immense public scrutiny, from her family's fame to media controversies. Yet she has consistently redefined herself on her own terms. Known for her soft-spoken demeanor but fierce artistic will, Janet represents endurance and reinvention. In recent years, she has been honored for her lifelong contributions to music, performance, and activism. Her 2022 documentary, Janet Jackson, offered fans an intimate look at her life, challenges, and triumphs, reaffirming her authenticity and resilience. Today, Janet Jackson stands as not only a pop icon but a symbol of empowerment, control, and evolution, a woman who reshaped the boundaries of music, gender, and identity in the entertainment industry. Complete musical timeline and career evolution. Early albums, 1982 to 1984. Finding Her Voice. Janet Jackson's debut album, Janet Jackson, 1982, released when she was only 16, marked the start of her recording career under the guidance of her father, Joe Jackson. Although modest in commercial success, it introduced her as a youthful, promising performer with songs like Young Love. Her follow-up, Dream Street, 1984, continued this light pop and bubblegum R&B sound but lacked her personal artistic identity. At this point, Janet was still searching for independence, both as a person and an artist. Control, 1986, the breakthrough of independence. Everything changed with Control. Determined to take charge of her life and career, Janet fired her father as her manager and began working with producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The result was one of the most important albums of the 1980s. Sound, funk, dance pop, and synth-driven R&B. Themes, empowerment, self-determination, and assertiveness. Hit singles: Nasty, What Have You Done For Me Lately, When I Think of You, and Control. Control earned her widespread acclaim, selling over 10 million copies worldwide and establishing Janet as a force equal to her brother Michael Jackson in influence. Rhythm Nation 1814, 1989, Music with a Message with Rhythm Nation 1814. Janet merged commercial pop with social awareness. It was a concept album envisioning a world united by equality and compassion. Sound, industrial pop, new jack swing, and R&B with a futuristic edge. Themes, racism, poverty, youth empowerment, and love. Hit singles: Miss You Much, Rhythm Nation, Escapade, Black Cat, Love Will Never Do, Without You. This album became the only record in history to produce 7 top 5 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. The accompanying Rhythm Nation World Tour was a massive success, making Janet the first female artist to launch a world tour that grossed over $30 million. Janet, 1993. Sensual Liberation. With the Janet album, Janet embraced sensuality and love. It marked her transition from political commentary to personal exploration. Sound, smooth R&B, soul, and funk pop. Themes, love, intimacy, desire, and emotional connection. Hit singles: That's the Way Love Goes, If, Again, Anytime, Anyplace. The album sold over 14 million copies worldwide and helped redefine female sexuality in pop culture, not as objectified performance, but as self-owned expression. The Velvet Rope, 1997. Introspection and healing. The Velvet Rope stands among her most profound works. Deeply personal, it reflected her struggles with depression, identity, and fame. Sound, darker, moodier trip-hop, R&B, and electronic textures. Themes, emotional pain, self-worth, LGBTQ+ acceptance, and resilience. Hit singles: Together Again, Got, Till It's Gone, I Get Lonely. Critically acclaimed for its honesty and innovation, The Velvet Rope cemented Janet as one of the most emotionally authentic artists in contemporary music. All For You, 2001, renewal and joy following a difficult period. All For You represented rebirth. Sound, upbeat pop and dance-infused R&B. Themes, celebration, confidence, freedom, and love. Hit singles: All For You, Someone to Call My Lover. It topped charts worldwide, and its tour became one of the highest grossing of the early 2000s. Damita Jo, 2004, and 20YO, 2006. Overcoming controversy after the 2004 Super Bowl halftime incident, Janet faced media backlash and censorship. Damita Jo, a deeply personal and romantic album, was unfairly overshadowed by controversy. 20yo, marking 20 years since Control, celebrated her musical legacy with a modern twist. Despite media challenges, her fanbase remained fiercely loyal. Discipline, 2008, and Unbreakable, 2015. Resilience and reinvention. Discipline saw Janet exploring futuristic electro R&B with tracks like Feedback, while Unbreakable was a return to her roots, introspective, soulful, and mature. Unbreakable debuted at #1, reaffirming her status as a timeless artist. Songs like No Sleep and Burn It Up showed her balance of sensuality and serenity. Influence on later generations. Janet Jackson's influence extends across nearly every corner of modern pop and R&B. Artists such as Beyoncé, Rihanna, Britney Spears, Ciara, Tinashe, and Normani have cited her as an inspiration. Her combination of musical innovation, choreography, fashion, and feminist expression created the blueprint for the modern pop star. Her Control and Rhythm Nation eras shaped how women in music could command both creative and business authority. Her Janet and Velvet Rope albums opened conversations about sexuality, race, and vulnerability, paving the way for artists to express deeper truths in mainstream music. Enduring legacy. Janet Jackson's legacy is defined by more than her chart success, it's about transformation. She redefined what it meant to be a woman in control of her career, her body, and her message. Her catalog remains a masterclass in reinvention, and her career a symbol of perseverance through shifting cultural landscapes. In 2023 and beyond, Janet continues to tour and perform to sold-out crowds, adored by multiple generations of fans. Her artistry, discipline, and humanity have solidified her as not just a pop icon, but a living legend whose voice continues to inspire freedom, self-love, and unity. Major tours and cultural impact. Janet Jackson's live performances have long been considered among the most spectacular and influential in the history of pop music. Her tours blend electrifying choreography, theatrical visuals, social themes, and emotional storytelling, setting the standard for generations of performers that followed. Control Tour, 1987. Janet's first headlining tour marked her arrival as a global pop phenomenon. The Control Tour showcased her ability to command massive arenas with precision and energy. Featuring synchronized dance routines, dynamic stage lighting, and powerful vocals, it introduced the world to Janet not as a member of the Jackson dynasty but as an independent superstar. Rhythm Nation World Tour, 1990. This tour was a turning point in music history, the highest-grossing debut world tour ever by a female artist at the time. The Rhythm Nation 1814 tour was both entertainment and activism, delivering messages of unity, equality, and hope through visual storytelling. The militaristic choreography and futuristic costumes became iconic, influencing artists from TLC to Britney Spears. It also earned Janet comparisons to her brother Michael for her extraordinary precision and performance intensity. Janet World Tour, 1993 to 1995. The Janet era celebrated sensuality and emotional openness. This tour was lavish, colorful, and romantic, a blend of celebration and intimacy. Janet performed across continents, often transforming arenas into immersive experiences with elaborate sets and costume changes. Her rendition of "Again" became one of the most emotional moments of her career. The Velvet Rope World Tour, 1998-1999, perhaps her most artistically daring tour, the Velvet Rope explored themes of identity, vulnerability, and self-healing. The production incorporated theatrical vignettes, cutting-edge lighting, and provocative stage moments. Janet openly embraced messages of mental health, inclusivity, and LGBTQ+ pride. Critics praised it as one of the most personal and visionary tours of the decade. All For You Tour, 2001-2002. The All For You Tour was a jubilant return to fun and celebration. It featured massive video screens, dance-heavy numbers, and crowd-pleasing hits from across her career. The energy, production quality, and fan engagement earned it accolades as one of the best tours of the early 2000s. Number 1s. Up Close and Personal, 2011, and State of the World Tour, 2017-2019. These tours emphasized intimacy and connection. The Up Close and Personal tour allowed fans to experience Janet in a more personal setting, focusing on her chart-topping hits. The State of the World Tour, launched after the release of Unbreakable, returned to her socially conscious roots, combining themes of unity, justice, and resilience with flawless performance artistry. Together Again Tour, 2023. Her Together Again tour marked a triumphant return, celebrating her decades-spanning career with renewed energy. Critics praised her as ageless, with choreography and charisma rivaling artists half her age. The tour also reaffirmed her legacy as one of the greatest performers in music history. Influence on music videos and fashion. Janet Jackson revolutionized the music video format. Her visual storytelling blended choreography, narrative, and cinematic production, transforming videos into cultural events. Rhythm Nation, 1989. The militaristic black and white imagery and synchronized dance became one of pop's most iconic visuals. If 1993 merged cyberpunk aesthetics with sensuality, influencing an entire generation of music video directors. Together Again, 1997, a heartfelt tribute to friends lost to AIDS, symbolizing healing and acceptance. Her wardrobe, from the all-black Rhythm Nation ensemble to the earthy, sensual Janet style, redefined pop fashion. Designers like Alexander McQueen and Jean-Paul Gaultier cited her as an influence. She mastered the art of blending femininity with strength, modesty with confidence, and performance with personality. Activism, humanitarian work, and philosophy. Janet Jackson has long used her fame for positive impact. She has supported numerous charities and humanitarian causes, including AIDS research, education for underprivileged youth, and child welfare organizations. Her song, Together Again, donated its proceeds to AIDS charities, while Rhythm Nation 1814 inspired educational programs promoting unity and literacy. Philosophically, Janet embodies compassion, self-acceptance, and resilience. Her life and art echo the belief that healing and love can coexist with struggle. She often speaks about personal growth, emotional transparency, and the importance of staying true to oneself. Cultural and historical legacy. Janet Jackson's impact goes far beyond music. She redefined how women in entertainment could be perceived: powerful yet vulnerable, sensual yet thoughtful, mainstream yet daring. She broke racial and gender barriers, helped shape the modern pop and R&B sound, and inspired countless artists to use their platforms for self-expression and change. She remains one of the few artists to achieve global superstardom while maintaining creative control and integrity. Her influence can be traced through decades of music, performance, and fashion, from the choreography-heavy MTV era to the empowerment-driven messages of today's artists. Final reflection: Janet Jackson's story is one of evolution, courage, and control. From her early years as the shy youngest Jackson sibling to her reign as a global icon, she has continually redefined herself and the industry around her. Her ability to merge art with message, sensuality with strength, and rhythm with meaning has made her one of the most important figures in the history of popular culture. More than 4 decades into her career, Janet remains not only relevant but revered, a living testament to creativity, endurance, and the transformative power of music. Awards, honors, and industry recognition: Janet Jackson's monumental career has been celebrated with an array of awards and honors recognizing not just her commercial success, but her innovation, influence, and social impact. Her achievements reflect a lifetime of artistic excellence, vision, and courage. Grammy Awards: Janet Jackson has earned 5 Grammy Awards and dozens of nominations, spanning categories from pop and R&B to music video and production. Her wins include Best Long-Form Music Video, Rhythm Nation 1814, 1990, Best Female R&B Vocal Performance, That's the Way Love Goes, 1994, Best Short-Form Music Video, Scream with Michael Jackson, 1996, Best Dance Recording, All For You, 2001. Her nominations often showcased her range as a vocalist, dancer, and conceptual artist who blurred genre boundaries. American Music Awards and Billboard Music Awards: she has won 11 American Music Awards and 11 Billboard Music Awards, including honors for Artist of the Decade, Favorite Pop, Rock Female Artist, and Icon Award. Her presence at these ceremonies often marked cultural moments, not only celebrating her achievements but also reaffirming her relevance through multiple decades. MTV and Visual Excellence: at MTV's Video Music Awards, Janet earned the Video Vanguard Award, 1990, one of the network's highest honors, recognizing her revolutionary impact on the music video art form. Her videos were groundbreaking, combining cinematic storytelling, choreography, and emotional power. In 2018, she received the Global Icon Award at the MTV Europe Music Awards, symbolizing her worldwide influence and artistic longevity. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 2019. Janet Jackson's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was not just a personal victory but a landmark moment for women and Black artists in pop music. During her induction speech, she humbly thanked her fans and family, saying, "To all the women who have inspired me, and to the women who will come after me, I'm honored to be part of your legacy." Her inclusion recognized her as one of the few artists to shape both the sound and structure of popular music. Hollywood Walk of Fame, 1990. Janet's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame commemorates her as a multifaceted entertainer, actress, singer, and global icon. She received it at the height of her Rhythm Nation era, when her artistic and cultural power was undeniable. Other major honors: NAACP Image Awards. Over a dozen wins celebrating her contributions to music, film, and humanitarianism. Soul Train Music Awards, recipient of the Heritage Award and Legend Award. Billboard Icon Award, 2018. Honored her groundbreaking career and continued relevance. Film and television career highlights: before she became a pop legend, Janet was a beloved television actress. Her natural charm and emotional expressiveness made her a fan favorite. Good Times, 1977 to 1979, as Penny Gordon, a young girl who endures abuse before finding love and stability. Janet delivered a moving and mature performance that hinted at her future depth as an artist. Diff'rent Strokes, 1980 to 1984, played Charlene Dupree, Arnold's love interest, further showcasing her light-hearted side. Fame, 1984-1985, joined the hit musical series, perfectly blending acting and music. In film, Janet transitioned seamlessly to cinema. Poetic Justice, 1993, directed by John Singleton, co-starring Tupac Shakur. Janet's portrayal of Justice, a mourning poet who finds love, earned her critical acclaim and an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song, again. Nutty Professor 2, The Klumps, 2000, starred opposite Eddie Murphy. Contributing both acting and music, Doesn't Really Matter. Why Did I Get Married? 2007, and Why Did I Get Married Too? 2010, directed by Tyler Perry. These roles allowed Janet to explore themes of grief, love, and forgiveness, further proving her dramatic range. Her ability to shift effortlessly between music and acting, between emotional depth and entertainment spectacle, demonstrated her status as a true multimedia artist. Humanitarian work and global influence beyond fame, Janet Jackson has consistently used her platform to uplift others. HIV/AIDS awareness. After losing friends to the disease, she dedicated her song Together Again to those affected. The proceeds supported AIDS research and relief organizations. Youth empowerment. Her Rhythm Nation initiative inspired educational programs and youth outreach across the United States. Mental health and inclusivity. Through the Velvet Rope, she brought attention to depression and self-acceptance, championing empathy and self-healing long before these became mainstream topics in pop culture. Support for the LGBTQ+ community. Janet has always stood as an ally, celebrating diversity and inclusion in her music, tours, and public statements. Her philanthropy reflects her belief that art and compassion are inseparable, that music can heal, inspire, and unite. Empowerment and representation. Janet Jackson's greatest legacy may be her role in reshaping how women, especially women of color, are seen in the entertainment industry. In an era when female artists were often controlled by male executives, Janet demanded creative authority. Control was not only an album title, it was a declaration of autonomy. She wrote, co-produced, and defined her image, sensual but self-directed, strong yet empathetic. Her confidence inspired artists like Beyoncé, Alicia Keys, Rihanna, Her, and Ariana Grande, who have acknowledged her as a model for artistic freedom. Janet demonstrated that a woman could own her narrative, express her sexuality without apology, and still be respected for her intellect and message. Her music continues to echo themes of liberation, equality, and healing, proving that empowerment isn't just a movement, but a rhythm that can unite generations. Legacy and eternal influence. Few artists have achieved what Janet Jackson has: longevity, innovation, and integrity across 5 decades. Her work exists at the intersection of art and activism, sensuality and strength, vulnerability and power. She changed the sound of R&B and pop. She changed the choreography of music videos. She changed how female artists navigate fame and self-expression. Today, she remains a global symbol of evolution and endurance, a woman who has faced controversy, loss, and reinvention yet continues to radiate grace and control. Her artistry is timeless, her influence immeasurable, and her message clear: we are a part of the Rhythm Nation, and together, we can make a change. Janet Jackson's influence on 21st-century pop and R&B. Janet Jackson's legacy stretches far beyond her own era. It forms the backbone of modern pop, R&B, and dance music. Her sound, style, and stagecraft have been studied, sampled, and celebrated by nearly every major artist of the 21st century. More than simply influencing the way artists perform, Janet changed the way they think about image, message, and identity in the industry. Influence on female pop artists. Beyoncé often cites Janet Jackson as one of her greatest inspirations. From her precision in choreography to the conceptual nature of her albums, Lemonade bears similarities to The Velvet Rope in its emotional arc. Beyoncé's artistry echoes Janet's commitment to storytelling and empowerment. Both women built empires rooted in creative control and social consciousness. Britney Spears, who grew up idolizing Janet, adopted her mix of innocence and sensuality. The crisp dance routines and stage dynamics in Britney's early videos, such as I'm a Slave for You, draw heavily from Janet's If and Rhythm Nation aesthetics. Rihanna's boldness, confidence, and musical fusion of pop and R&B mirror Janet's fearless innovation during the Control and Janet eras. Rihanna's All of the Lights and Umbrella performances show clear nods to Janet's sultry control of the stage and audience. Ciara, whose dance-driven style became her trademark, has often referred to Janet as her role model. Songs like Promise and Feedback share Janet's signature smoothness, a mix of athletic movement and emotional restraint. Ariana Grande, Tinashe, Dua Lipa, and Normani also carry forward Janet's legacy, blending complex choreography, minimalist vocal delivery, and empowerment-focused lyrics into their work. Influence on male artists and producers. Janet's influence transcends gender. Male artists such as Usher, Justin Timberlake, Chris Brown, and The Weeknd have cited her as an inspiration, not only for her dance mastery but for her album concepts and production innovation. The new Jack swing and funk-infused R&B that she popularized on Control and Rhythm Nation became the foundation for late 90s and 2000s R&B. Producers like Timbaland, Neptunes, and Darkchild carried forward that hybrid sound, crisp beats, sensual grooves, and narrative cohesion that Janet helped pioneer. Choreography and visual aesthetics. Janet Jackson's choreography remains a global language in dance culture. Her routines, created with choreographers such as Tina Landon and Paula Abdul, introduced a new level of synchronization and musicality. Signature moves, sharp arm angles, militaristic formations, and seamless transitions between robotic precision and fluid sensuality continue to be replicated in performances worldwide. Her music videos like Rhythm Nation, If All For You, and Feedback serve as textbooks for modern dance teams and choreographers. Shows like America's Best Dance Crew and artists like K-pop groups, BTS, Blackpink, EXO, often credit Janet's influence for the discipline and storytelling embedded in their choreography. Artistic storytelling and concept albums. Before Janet, pop albums were typically collections of singles. After Control and Rhythm Nation, artists began crafting concept albums, unified narratives that explored emotion, social issues, or identity. Control-inspired empowerment-themed works like Christina Aguilera's Stripped and Beyoncé's I Am, Sasha Fierce. Rhythm Nation 1814 influenced socially conscious albums like Lady Gaga's Born This Way and The Weeknd's After Hours. The Velvet Rope paved the way for introspective, confessional records like Taylor Swift's Reputation and Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever. Janet demonstrated that vulnerability and activism could coexist in pop music, a revolutionary idea that artists continue to build upon today. Influence on fashion and image. Janet's fashion statements have been as iconic as her music. Rhythm Nation era, black military uniforms, gloves, and metallic accessories, symbolizing unity and strength. Janet era, soft curls, earth tones, and sensual simplicity, representing liberation and emotional openness. The Velvet Rope era, red hair, choke.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.